On this week's episode of MATC Now, we take a look into the audio production and music occupations programs, as well as checking in with Genesis at the downtown campus cafeteria. Once again, Chef BellaDee is cooking up another flavorful dish. All this and more coming up on MATC Now. Good morning and welcome back to MATC Now. I'm your host, Courtney Bondar, and with me today are two very special guests. Hansel Lopez, a music tutor at MATC, and James Jedediah, a alumni, in the music and audio program. How are you both doing today?
Very well,
Good.
thank
How
you.
are you?
Good, I'm doing very good. So Hansel, tell me a little bit about you.
Yes, I am the music tutor here at MATC. I'm a graduate of both audio and music programs, and I'm also a producer at a podcast studio and a music teacher.
And that's wonderful. And James, what about you?
As mentioned, I'm a recent graduate from MATC, so I graduated in December, and I am now actually the Chief Executive Producer for Earth Solomon Productions.
That's wonderful. Sounds great. I'll get back to you guys in just a little bit. We'll find out more about you guys and the program here at MATC. For now, I want to check in with our field correspondent, Genesis Lopez, to see what she has in store for us later.
Hi, Genesis Lopez here. I'm at the cafeteria checking out the new remodel. The new layout has a modern self-service design and still has more planned. We'll dish out more details soon. Back to you, Courtney.
Oh, I'm getting hungry already. We'll check back in with Genesis in just a few. Now let's find out what student producer Leslie Garcia learned at the LGBTQ+ Community Center, as well as we'll also look into what student producer Katie Emberson learned about the MATC alumni, Devin Trusek, who has been working at WISN 12 for over 8 years.
The Milwaukee LGBT Community Center delivers educational, health promotion, and community building services that address the needs of LGBT people in the greater Milwaukee area. Ricardo Galaviz shares information on the center and the role as Associate Director.
What falls under me is I oversee volunteers, events, fundraising, and then external affairs, which would be anything external facing. The website, the socials, our trainings, I'm the media and press contact, and then also a lot of our interviews and tours and stuff like that.
Ricardo dives into the LGBT Center and what they offer to the community, more specifically on what services and programs they provide.
What makes the Milwaukee LGBT Community Center an outstanding place is that we're very unique in the city. We are one of the only specific LGBT community centers, right? And we also offer a huge array of programs and services. We have the aging program that works with older adults, our youth program called Project Q that works with youth ages 13 and up. Then we also have our transgender and non-conforming program that works, with people who are transitioning, both socially and physically. And then we also have our disabilities program that works with people who are living with disabilities. The services that we offer here is we have a wonderful library that we're in right now. We have our cyber center where people can access the internet or computers and do some printing. We have a clothing closet for people to access clothes, but also just a liberating place to live your authentic life and find what makes you comfortable.
Unfortunately, this community faces a lot of adversities. Because of that, the center is crucial to the LGBT needs and well-being.
The reality is that a lot of the people in our community do experience poverty, hunger, homelessness, abuse, prejudiceness, discrimination. So another service we also offer too is our victims and crisis management services. So people can come here and see a licensed mental health professional and get like some crisis stabilization or get connected to resources.
The The LGBT Center will be celebrating 25 years of service to the community throughout March with different events and also celebrating Trans Day of Visibility on March 31st.
So we have a event here at the center, an exhibition called Trans Enough. And where this came from is it came from actually one of the participants of the groups that we have here, where they had felt that sometimes within the community, there's the theys say that you're not trans if you're not on hormones, or you're not trans if you didn't change your name, or you're not trans, like trying to almost set different requirements before you can consider yourself trans. So what this exhibition does is it spotlights that no matter where you are on your journey, no matter whether you decided to transition or not transition or move forward with anything, you are trans enough. So it's a collection of art and stories and audio files and videos that people have submitted showing how they are trans enough.
Devin, an alum that graduated 12 years ago, reminisces on where his education from MATC has brought him.
I graduated from the TVP television production program at MATC.
After Devin's career at MATC ended, he continued to pursue TV production and now works at a TV station local to Milwaukee.
I work at WISN 12 in the staging department. I'm a floor director and stagehand. In the next 5 years, my career, I love it here, I love my job, so hopefully I'll just still be doing this. Maybe be a department head, head of staging would be a great place to be.
MATC offers many programs in different fields. No matter the field, MATC will equip its students with the skills they need to be successful in their intended industry. Devin looks back at some of those skills that he learned during his time at MATC.
Skills I took away from school to here are pretty much all of them. Everything I did at school I do here, so that includes lighting, getting mic checks, running camera. Even though I don't run camera here, I do hop on a camera to set a shot if someone's in the control room from time to time. Hanging lights, hang a lot of lights, using light boards and going on shoots remotely. The program was a lot more than I expected. Going into it, I just had a small interest in making videos, but coming out of it, I learned how to do pretty much anything I could at a television station. A great memory I have from MATC is going on shoots with all my classmates around Milwaukee, learning, messing up, learning, going out again, getting yelled at by Kevin, just having the experience of real world television production.
As Devin has looked back at his time here at MATC, he has some things to keep in mind for students nearing the end of their education here. And more specifically, some things to keep in mind as a TV production student.
Advice for students nearing graduation. Make sure to use all the resources that the school provides you. It is pretty much what they have there will help you do everything you need to do here. Make sure to white balance, check your iris, don't give up. It's gonna be tough, but you'll have a great time and you won't get sick of it. A lot of people that I work with right now went to the same program as I did, even people I graduated with, and many others before me, so it's a good camaraderie at MATC. The friends you make there are you'll probably be working with, and you learn everything you need to know.
I just love what the LGBTQ plus community center is offering for members of the community. It's great to see these organizations like this one really impacting the community more. Also, an awesome look into a job at WISN 12. It's always great to see alumni from our program working in the field. But the cafeteria looks amazing, so if you haven't already, check it out. It's definitely worth your time. Now let's take a look at what student producer Isaiah Vargas learned with the audio production and music occupations program.
alongside others to provide a broader learning experience for students. So is the case for the audio production and music occupations programs. While two different programs, both offer many similar studies with the use and understanding of sound and music.
Since this is a trade school, like any other trade, like electrical engineering or plumbing, we treat the music industry in that regard. So as a student, you'll learn to be a professional guitarist or a professional drummer or bassist or singer or what have you. And of course, we also have the audio engineering program, which involves all manner of production and mixing and mic placement and live sound and a great deal of other concepts.
Audio has so many different outlets that you can go into, but our classes tend to focus on like audio software very broadly. So all the areas of audio that you can do will all use software in certain ways, but they're using the same tools. So it's becoming comfortable with those tools in the software, so in whatever field you go into, you'll still know how to use it.
The audio and music programs have many opportunities to bring their knowledge to good use, whether on their own or working together. Both programs will usually participate in large ensemble concerts or recording sessions to benefit the learning and application of skills through every student in both areas, as well as an array of outside practice and events.
Robbie Highway, the chair of the music program and audio program, has a band called P-Tech, Performance Techniques, and they're going to play at least 2 concerts a year. I have a band called Honors Ensemble. We have ensembles 1 through 4, and these ensembles play live shows down here in the C Auditorium, and they are engineered by the live sound classes, and we put it all together.
There are classes where the audio productions students are a part of. Like, we have performances and the audio production students will set up for those performances, and sometimes we'll record those performances.
Audio production and music occupations can either be taken on their own, although many students choose to take both courses to fully hone their abilities with sound and music.
I took a lot of audio classes my first year, and throughout the first year, I started to realize that I also really like classes from music occupations. So now I'm looking to get better at composing and start composing and also producing for artists as well.
Some people will need the music experience to be able to get further into the audio business because of the fact that a producer, if you want to be a producer, if you want to be an engineer, you don't really need that much information about music theory. But if you're a producer, you want to be able to go into a studio, your studio, and be able to pick apart somebody's music and say, okay, this would help, and then mix it correctly, do everything you need to do.
Both of these programs, audio and music, they're passions that people have that, I feel like both of these programs can really just sort of ignite something. Where if you're not really sure what you're getting into, you have a chance to try this, to explore it. And to me, what's really important is that students have the chance to make something their own in a class.
Definitely, if you are looking to be a music producer, take classes from both, because at first I was only taking classes from the audio engineering side, which is useful to know, definitely, but I also have enjoyed learning theory, and that's been a really big part of evolving as a music producer and a composer.
These programs offer great hands-on experience and opportunities to students who have a passion for music or audio, and for most students, one cannot be learned without the other.
That was some very fascinating information, and it kind of makes me want to learn more and look into music and audio production myself. Now, I do have a few moments here where we're going to go and head to questioning you, Hansel, and you, James, as well, about your positions here in the program and also what it was like to be alumni. But first, let's head over to the cafeteria to see Genesis Lopez and see what she has in store for us.
Make sure to browse around your first visit. There's a lot of items on all the counters, like sandwiches and salads, and then we also have the hot items all around the outer ring. If you want to grab a cup of coffee or soda from any of the registers, you can just follow all around the center island and you'll find them there. And I found Erica Jones. She is the expert from the last 25 years that has been feeding all the students here at MATC. How's it going, Erica? How do you like the new remodel?
Oh, It's going well. I've been here for 25 years and I have seen a lot of changes, but this is the biggest change and it's a good change. It's new, it's open, the lighting is good, there's more seating. It's exciting to have something new.
So how has the new equipment made a difference here in the cafeteria?
The equipment has made a difference because we get to have pizza out of a nice new brick oven. We can have briskets, we can have rotisserie, we can have Asian items. So it has changed a lot since the last cafeteria that we had. So good things.
That's good. What are some new items that students can check out here?
Some new items are salmon for the month of Lent. We have chicken breast, grilled chicken breast. We have hot dogs. We have grilled cheese bagged by popular demand. We're going to be having sloppy joes coming to the menu as well.
So what are some new items that I hear, or a new item that's going to be added into the cafeteria soon?
Soon we'll be having a C-store. It's a convenience store. We just call it a C-store. We'll be having that in the old cafeteria. It will be more seating over there. We'll have a stage, but it'll be like more stuff like chips and candy bars and things that you can really just grab and go. But yeah, it will be coming December 2024. It should be here and ready for the students to enjoy as well.
That sounds exciting. Well, thank you so much, Erica, for being here with us. And thank you to all of the chefs as well for providing all of the food to all the students. And if you're interested in starting a career here in the cafeteria, make sure to check out the Career Hub. Back to you, Courtney.
Oh my goodness, I am so hungry and that cafeteria looks so good. But what I want to do right now first, before we focus on food, is ask some really good questions about the music and audio department. So here I have Hansel and James. So Hansel, you are a tutor.
Yes.
Tell me about that role and what it's like to tutor students in those programs.
Yes, tutoring is great. I mostly tutor students that need help with music theory, piano, which is my main instrument, so I help them with that. With other instruments too, a little bit of voice if they need help with that, or guitar, but very like beginner stuff.
So what kind of opportunities can students see from being tutored or in the program in general?
So with tutoring, it's great, especially if you have no experience with music, and if you're struggling with classes, it's really great to reach out to me just because I can help with kind of supplementing that learning that they have in class, but sometimes some topics that we cover in music theory are not as clear, so it's good to have like a second perspective on the same subject. So
absolutely. And James, you are alumni. Explain about the opportunities and being a student here and what that was all like.
Yeah, I think the thing I really enjoyed about the program is it teaches you a wide variety of skills that you can use. Whether that's recording in the studio or running sound for live events, recording live events, or getting into actually making your own music. And then if you're crossing over with the music productions, music performance, I should say, program, then you're learning how to use an instrument or be a vocalist so you can further develop making your own music. So I was able to take some of the skills that we've learned and find work right away in those different fields. So I really appreciate that.
That's amazing. Good for you. Could you give me more insight on like what students can expect from being in these programs and from audio and music and how those two things have come together?
Yes. So I actually took both programs. So the cool thing, as James said, is that they both connect a lot. So a lot of the classes are kind of tied together. So a lot of performances. We have audio students recording the performances, so they both get the experience of performing and playing for an audience, and also the audio program they get to work what it would be like in the real world, like working on an actual concert and things like that. So that's something that to look forward. And yeah, MATC really prepares you to learning how to become just a hobbyist to an actual musician.
I was gonna say, because it sounds like, being out in the field, out there using these skills. And James, could you give me some insight, because you're out there already in the field using your degree. Explain a little bit more about what it's like.
Yeah, I've found work in different fields actually. So I do some sound engineering, so sound reinforcement. I run the sound for different concerts and bands and a few venues around town. So that's really interesting because we have the great auditorium here to learn how to use the equipment and understand the sound of a room. And so I get to kind of put those skills to use. I also do some recording and mixing and editing. As Ted mentioned previously, in his classes, he teaches you how to use DAWs to be able to take recorded information and produce it in a way that's more useful to release. So I think that as music as my passion, learning these skills here and then understanding how to actually interpret music, the different parts of it, and make make your own music really, which is for most people the goal. I think it's helped me get along the way into making a career for myself.
Of course, and it sounds like you have really gathered all the skills from MATC and incorporating that into your field, and honestly giving students like other windows of opportunity and a good insight into that as well, right? Hansel, do you really believe students can take advice from James and run into a field or just seek an opportunity with the skills not only that you guys provide here, but also insight into the field from an alumni too?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a few classes where we actually have to work in the field, both musicians and audio students. We have to turn some hours on that kind of work, so you will definitely get hands-on experience on both fields, audio and music.
That's amazing. Thank you guys so much for giving me an in-depth look into not only the music and audio production programs and also just into the field as well. So thank you, Hansel and James, for that insight.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, not a problem. And Hansel, I smell something cooking in the kitchen, don't you?
Yes.
So let's head over to see what Chef BellaDee has cooking for us this morning.
You got it, Courtney. Now, there's a lot of ways to make your weeknight meals interesting, and today I'm doing just that by making some simple chili cheese dogs. It's affordable and basically already half made, making it a great dinner for a busy evening. Today, I'm cooking with some pre-made chili, onion, shredded cheese, hot dogs, and buns. Now, these are beef, but there are many other alternatives like turkey, vegan, and even grilled glazed carrots if meat's not your style. And I've got these tools too. We've got a few different knives, a nice surface to cut on, there's a pot and something to stir our chili with, and finally we have a plate to eat our finished product off of. Now let's get into this chili over here. I already have it on the heat because it takes about 10 minutes to warm up a can of chili from room temperature. And I've been stirring it about once or twice a minute because we want to make sure that all of our bottom beans aren't burning and that they're getting the same love and affection as the top beans. So you can see we've got beans, there's chili, but it's still going to take a little bit longer for it to be nice and eating temperature, so we're going to let that keep going over there. And let's move on to our hot dogs. They're beef, as I said, and we've actually already warmed them up ahead of time, so just know that they're hot dogs and know that you can sub in whatever you want for it, because the real joy of sandwiches is that you get to do what you want with them. Hot dogs or sandwiches. I said it. But we're going to put some things on our hot dogs, and one of those things is going to be an onion. And I have a white onion here today. And to prepare this white onion first, we're going to chop it in half. Make sure that you keep your fingers nice and out of the way. But onions are rolling around, so if you feel more comfortable holding it, just be very careful that you know where your fingers are when your knife is going down. And now that helps take out a lot of this paper on the onion, which is the nice thing about cutting it in half before you de-skin. So I'm gonna grab myself a little trash bowl. And as we peel off all of this trash, and sometimes it's helpful to kind of make a little extra cut so that you can peel everything away nice and easy like that. And look at it, it's so gorgeous and clean. And we're gonna take off one more layer because you can kind of see here, there's still a good bit of green going on and this little extra bit of paper. So we're gonna take off that other layer too. And now to dice this onion, we're gonna go in for a radial dice, and I'm gonna switch to a smaller knife so that I have a little bit more control here. First, I'm gonna take out this weird little butt bit, just to get rid of all those little extra papery scraps. And then you can kind of see here, there are these lines along the onion. Might be a little bit hard to see on camera, but there, you can see that I'm gonna follow my knife along with these lines when I cut, and that just pops off these little shreds like this. And now this is called a julienne cut, which you can save, but for a dice, you just go all the way around, and then once you have all your little shreds like that, and you cut across, then you've got little pieces, little diced pieces, because the layers of onion combined with those two cuts, then you've got cuts in 3 directions, making little tiny cubes. Just make sure to get all the weird little papery bits out of there, and that's enough onion to top off one dog for us there. So let's get into that dog. Now, we're gonna grab our plate and a nice little bun. Open that bad boy up. Now this is a good place to put in your mustard, your mayo, whatever else you got going on, but I am not a condiment girl, I'm sorry. I'm just sticking to the classics. And so I'm gonna grab my dog, pop it right on here. And our chili's been cooking for another minute or so, looking gorgeous as ever. And you wanna get a nice big scoop going, and then just coat that bad boy. Oh, she's so warm and cozy in there. All right, and now we get to go ahead and start topping it. Now, like I said, we've got onions, and we also have a little bit of shredded cheddar cheese here. I'm gonna put the onions on first, because I like that little pop of freshness in with my nice rich chili. And our golden shreds of cheese, which remind me of some golden rings, which are a favorite item of a video game character who also really loves chili cheese dogs. That's right, it's Sonic. And you know, Sonic loves his friends, and so do I. And one thing that you should know about chili cheese dogs is that when you crack open a can of chili, you can top about 6 dogs. So it's a great meal for having some friends over after a long day of studying. And now back to you in the studio. Thank you.
Wow, what a traditional take on chili dogs.
Now for Ulises geMKE.
Now let's go to Ulises Mora's geMKE.
I'm student producer Ulises Mora, and this is another hidden geMKE. I'm here at the Sherman Phoenix Marketplace, taking in all the wonderful smells and appreciating all of its artwork. But what makes this community space so culturally relevant?
In 2016, violent unrest broke out in the Sherman Park neighborhood of Milwaukee after a fatal police shooting rocked the community. What followed were community conversations that identified the need for safe and welcoming neighborhood spaces. Certain leaders in the community decided to take matters into their own hands, and with that, the idea of the Sherman Phoenix Marketplace was born. The Sherman Phoenix transformed a fire-damaged BMO Harris Bank, located in Sherman Park neighborhood, into a high-quality space.
Updates to the neighborhood include community spaces to curate art exhibits, small business of color offering diverse food, a wellness service, and cultural activities. Oh, and did I mention food?
The community space lives by the rallying cry, rising from the ashes and harnessing the spirit and assets of the neighborhood as a catalyst for unity. This is the Sherman Phoenix.
I'm student producer Ulises Mora, and this has been another hidden geMKE.
Wow, what a cool place. Now let's go to Courtney for the MATC Minute.
Is your internet service costing way too much? Well, the FC's Affordable Connectivity Program may be able to help on March 28th in the C building on the 2nd floor lounge, where you can meet volunteers who can help give you that eligible discount. Is the semester getting way too stressful and you're just needing that extra help? The STEM Pathway coaches and advisors will be able to help you on Wednesday, March 29th at 11:30 a.m. Take a break, enjoy some refreshments, some resources to manage test anxiety, reading strategies, balancing life, and so many other tips that can help make this semester very successful for you. As graduation approaches, having a professional LinkedIn is definitely something you need to have. So MATC is hosting another great and useful workshop. You'll be able to register at MATC's website on Handshake or go to the workshop between noon and 1 p.m. Interested in MATC? And that is all for the MATC Minute. Thank you.